you're trying to live the life that you want, get into your chosen timeline, stop doing the things that you don't want to do, there is a way to arrive there, but it's not going to look like our normal 3D way of doing things. It is really, I mean, you could maybe get there through pushing through and trying hard and never giving up. And in a way, yeah, you never want to give up on this. But what I learned in this near-death experience changed my entire life. And I'm excited to share it with you. I think I've mentioned the near-death experience a few times, but over the past few years, I've just been wrapping my mind around it more and more. And I think that my tendency with stuff like this is to kind of just act like it never happened or think that it didn't really happen, because of that's my human programming based off of things that, you know, I was brought up in and whatnot, and ways of being that I was brought up in. So I'm gonna hopefully find a spot with no flies right now. If you don't know, I'm on a horse farm here in Italy, animal sanctuary horse farm. This is where I recorded yesterday. Hello. And this is Ladybug. Hello. How are you, my lady? Many of you are the reason why Ladybug gets to be here forever. Yeah. Oh, we're actually signing the contracts today for her. The contract today for her. I was just sent it and saw that things are really happening. So thank you everyone who donated and was a part of this with me. And I will tell you when we're officially done and the rest of them are signed for, but we are just waiting on those contracts because the owner doesn't actually own those horses, but he did own Ladybug. Hi, honey. Those are my glasses. You want to be in my video? So, what happened in the near-death experience was also, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. She's like, what the heck? I just elbowed her in the face. I was trying to show you Rudy. If you can see him. He's just sunbathing over here. So, 2020, I believe it was, I was detoxing nonstop. My whole life was detoxing from Lyme disease and from mold illness, and I was following the guidance of my doctor. I was doing miracle liver and gallbladder cleanses from the book The Miracle Liver and Gallbladder Cleanse. Life-changing. Those cleanses were absolutely life-changing, but I was just going so hardcore. Everything that I did in life was about healing. Everything that I ate, like even just taking a bath, it wasn't like, I didn't do things just to like enjoy doing things. I wasn't like taking a bubble bath. It was like taking a bath because of Epsom salt and because it's detoxing and because, you know, gotta get the mycotoxins out of my body and blah, blah, blah. And so I had done a juice cleanse, and then I did the liver and gallbladder cleanse. That's Rosa. She likes to hold her hostages in there around feeding time, because she really wants to get on the feeding schedule, but she doesn't need to because she's so round. And I reached a point in that liver and gallbladder cleanse where I was about to do a coffee enema. I was about to get in the sauna, and if I had done those, I would have really died, because that would have been like the last bit of sodium that I had in my body. So I started losing control of my muscles. I started losing the ability to speak. I was just not sure what was happening. I didn't know if I was like having a stroke or what was going on. And so my ex brought me to the hospital, but because it was COVID time, he couldn't come in the hospital with me. And that led to me being there, and the people, my nurses that were taking care of me, for whatever reason, you know, everything has divine reason, but they were just not very attentive to me. And I remember trying to tell them that like they had put the IV in wrong, but they didn't listen, and I don't even know if I said words. So I was in the room with the door closed, watching like my arm bleed out, not like a serious amount, but just I remember having this experience. And then I remember going to a place where I was just like, I thought that I had more to live for. I thought that there was a bigger reason for my life. And I was kind of like looking down at my life, and I was like, if I go back, like I don't want to do this anymore, this way. I don't want to have to do so much. I don't want to have to force so much. I don't want to have to live in this timeline where I'm just doing what other people are telling me I have to do. I want to follow what I'm being called to do. I want to trust myself enough to do that and to make those decisions and to live the life that I want, to maybe cut people out of my life that I know aren't meant for me, but I keep around because I'm afraid of hurting people, afraid of change, afraid of being on my own. I remember these thoughts and I was like, if I go down, I'm going to choose to live differently. And when I came back in my body and started to kind of feel what it was like in my body again, I felt different. Exactly the next day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try gluten. I'm gonna try dairy. I'm gonna try, just try these things that I have been so afraid of, that I have been told will cause serious, serious issues for me. And I'm gonna see what happens. And so the next day I had some gluten. I was like, I feel okay. I thought like I would go into a severe reaction. And then same thing with dairy and sugar and exercise. And I started, socializing. I was so afraid to socialize because of mold and because of maybe getting COVID, and I had an immune compromised condition, or, a compromised immune system. And I started just choosing to let go of all the fear that had been conditioned within my body, programmed within my body. And it took some time. But then I decided, okay, what if I just choose to live in truth? What if I choose to live in truth and to follow my curiosity and follow my joy, and to not be afraid of closing doors? To not be afraid of closing the doors on the things that I know don't light me up, that I know are not meant for me, that I know are not in my chosen timeline. And that meant ending my romantic relationship, that meant ending some friendships, that meant leaving my job, that meant moving, that meant making huge changes. But I was able to do this because I was able to finally trust that I was going to be okay. And what else? The other thing that I experienced in that was the level of peace that there was where I went, and the okayness that is waiting for us. Like, I say it like that because, there's such a fear that we're, maybe, I don't know for you, but that when we go over to the other side, that, what's going to happen? Am I going to disappear? But what I experience is that we're infinite, and we're bliss, and we're love, and we're joy, and we're abundance, and it's ease, and it's grace. And so when I came back to really experience this reality in a level without that fear controlling my every decision, I was like, okay, well, if things don't work out, the worst thing that could happen is that I leave Earth, right? But I know that it's beautiful over there. So how about I just start taking chances? How about I start trusting myself? How about I start trusting the forces and the guidance that I know is available to me? And I just choose. I'm just the one that has to choose. And all I have to choose is to go towards the things that light me up and to tell the truth from my heart space. And even if there's the fear around choosing to speak the truth, because that can change things, knowing that the way that it changes things will serve you in the way that is meant for you. So I did that for a long time, and I continued to do it. But it got to a point where I finally moved through the layers of my life where I was not in alignment with my truth, where I was not in alignment with the life that I wanted to be living. And then I was free to start co-creating and free to start moving towards the things that I want. And what's interesting about this too is that it's so different than I thought it would look like, but it's even better than I imagined. And I think that needs to be emphasized, is that maybe you've been programmed in certain ways to think that you want certain things, but when you arrive at the thing that surprises you, it's okay to enjoy it and to then choose it and to change your mind. And so how do we get here? We start doing exactly what we're talking about here. We're following the joy, we're following the curiosity, and we're not fearing closing the door. We're not letting fear make our every decision. Where is fear controlling your life? You have to ask yourself that. You have to get honest with yourself. Are you afraid to leave your job because you don't think that, you can find a better one? And even though you're being mistreated or undervalued or overworked, you feel like you have to stay. But maybe there's something out there that makes you happy, that appreciates you, that fulfills the things that you need to be fulfilled in, and is financially abundant. Maybe that is existing. And I know it's not maybe, because there are infinite timelines within the quantum field. There is everything available to you. It's already happening right now. It's a matter of you choosing it and trusting that you can have it if you start moving towards it, and knowing that you can have what you want. You can have the life that you want, and there will be challenges. There will be challenges, there will be chaos, but you get to choose to move through that in a centered place. You get to choose to observe how you respond to these things. The only thing that you can control in life is how you respond to life. And so when you're moving through challenging times with people who you love, who you want to be in your life, you can choose to be centered. Where are you too attached? Where are you acting out of fear? And how can you let that go? How can you move into a more heart-spaced, trusting, whole place? You're not going to be afraid of losing that person, that place, that thing, if you know you're always whole, if you know you're always going to be okay, if you know that you're always going to be enough. And so that's the message for today. And if you've had any experiences like this, please let me know. I think that with my experience of this near-death experience, we'll call it that, I feel like it's a little bit different because I had already had this other experience where I think we had many different types of spiritual awakenings and whatnot, but I had one that was extremely profound 10 years ago. And that was one of those things where, it happened, and then for a few years I was trying to chase it and trying to relive it and trying to find that feeling again. And what I heard from one of my friends who's visiting here on the farm, a friend's friend who is now my friend, who's lovely, is that people have these near-death experiences and then are chasing it all the time and trying to relive it. But I didn't have that with this one because it was after the spiritual awakening. And also I came to terms with nothing's in the past. And if we keep putting our joy and our wonderful experiences in the past, we are always going to be chasing something that is not here in the present moment. But what's here in the present moment is going to be so beautiful, and it's going to be different. And maybe you'll have a profound experience like you've had before. Maybe you'll have a love like you've had before, but also you're going to have things that are much, much different and much, much, not better. Nothing's better or worse, but just different. You came here for the experience. You came here for the contrast. You came here to learn and remember the truth of who you are. And what I know to be true is you came here to help the planet in this evolution of shifting into the new consciousness. If you're watching this right now, that probably resonates on some level of truth. And I think that it's important to explore that more. And the way that we can best do this mission that we maybe share is to continue to follow that joy within yourself, that curiosity within yourself, and to continue to try to remember in every single moment in life the truth of who you are and how worthy you are of the things that you want. And if you're living in a timeline where you're not experiencing the life that you want to be living, know that there is an option for you to choose differently. There is an option for you to move into a different timeline. You just have to surrender and allow yourself to move there by trusting that you can close the doors and say no, and that will lead you to the life that you want to be living. If you choose to speak and act within the truth, you will arrive. So, I hope that this message landed with you. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here. Leave a message if you feel called to do so. If you don't know what to say, we can go ahead and say long live Ladybug and her family and friends. Oh, Rosa is one of the 5 as well. We know this. You guys have met her before. So we're working on getting her contract set up. Oh, you have the biggest belly. She's such a good horse. There's Ladybug. We'll see you later. I'm sorry for elbowing you in the face. I didn't mean to. I did not mean to. Okay, I will see you in tomorrow's video. If you want to sign up for any of my programs, I have 21 days to rewire your mind, 21 days to know your divine guidance, and I have one-on-one options as well. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.